We're looking at a continuation of our percentages topic. Welcome back to term 2. Today we're going to look at the unitary method. So what I'd like you to do is to copy down these questions from the board as we go. You can pause the video at any time if you need time to copy things down. Now let's have a look at the unitary method. Now this is a method which involves finding 1% of something so that we can find 100% of something. So, for example, if I said to you 20% of my pocket money is $5, then we could work out what 100% of my pocket money is using the unitary method. So, let's have a look at our first question. Here's our heading. I want you to write that down. Now, the word unit means one. So, for the unitary method, we're finding one of something. In fact, because it's percentages, it's 1%. So we are finding 1% first in all of these questions. First question, if 15% of an amount is $75, what is the amount? Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, how can I write that down using mathematics? So I'm going to write down that 15% is equal to $75. Now with the unitary method, we need to find 1% first. So I want to get what 1% is equal to. Now, how can we do that? How can I get 1% from 15%? Well, if I divide that by 15, 15 divided by 15 is 1, there I get 1 there. And with an equation, as we know, what I do to one side, I do to the other. So divide by 15. Now, 15 divided by 15 is 1, so I've got 1% there. Now, get your calculator out, or you can do it mentally. 75 divided by 15 should be 5. Indeed it is $5. Okay, so step 1 is to find 1%, which we did. The question says, what is the amount? That is saying, find out what 100% is. So the next thing to do is to find out what 100% is. 100% will be this times by 100, won't it? Be $500. Now, to go from 1% to 100%, I'm timesing by 100, which means to go from $5 to 500, I'm also timesing by 100. I've got to do the same thing to both sides. Okay? So step 1, find 1%. Step 2, find 100%. Okay, so step 1, find 1%, and then step 2, find 100%. Okay, what I'd like you to do, make sure you've copied all of that down, and I want you to try the second question by yourself. So you copy the second question down, and then pause the video, have a go at question 2, before you play the video again. Okay. Alright, question 2. Now, question 2, we've got 16% of an amount is 64 centimetres. What is the amount? Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write this down using mathematics. So 16% is equal to 64 centimetres. Okay? Now, we've got to find out what the whole amount is. The whole amount is 100%. Okay? So step 1, find 1%. Now, to find 1%, how do we do that? We need to use division. So how do I get 1%? I divide by 16. 16 divided by 16 is 1. Now, I also have to divide this by 16 as well. Okay? 64 divided by 16. Let's work it out. It's 4. You won't always get whole numbers there, but it's 4 centimetres. And the last step is to find 100%. Okay? So 100% equals. Alright? Now, if I've got to times by 100, don't I, to get 100%. That means I've got to times by 100 here as well. So 4 times 100 is 400 centimetres or 4 metres. Okay, make sure that is all copied down into your book as part of your notes. And we'll look at question 3 now. Now, copy question 3 down. You can either pause the video now, have a go at this question by yourself, that follows the same 2 steps as the other questions. Okay, Farmer Brown lost 30% of her sheep in a flood. If she had 560 sheep left, how many sheep did she have before the flood? Okay, so let's change all these words into mathematical symbols and numbers. So, Farmer Brown lost 30% of her sheep. So, let's think. She started off with 100%, didn't she? So 100% of her sheep. Now she lost 30% of her sheep. That means she now has 70% of her sheep left. So she started with 100, she lost 30, and now she's got 70% sheep. Now it says that she has 560 sheep left, so that means that 70% there is equal to 560 sheep. Okay? Now, it says, how many sheep did she have before the flood? Well, before the flood she had 100%, didn't she? So that's what you've got to work out. You've got to work out 100%. Now, to do that, I'm going to use the unitary method and find out 1% first. Then times that by 100 to get my answer. Now how do I get 1% from this? Well, just like before, we divide by 70. And that means I've got to divide this by 70 as well because it's an equation. 70 divided by 70 is 1, so I get 1%. 560 divided by 70, get your calculator out, work that out, should be 8. Yes it is. 8 sheep. Then it says, what is 100%? Times by 100 to get that, and that means times by 100 to get that. So that is 800 sheep. Okay. So, question, check if you've answered the question. How many sheep did she have before the flood? Well, 800 sheep was how much she had before the flood. So, you can see I've used a diagram to represent the words in the question. Then I've used the unitary method to get my final answer. Okay, make sure that it's copied down into your book as your notes, and then you can start the exercise that I will set on Google Classroom for you. Okay.